Factor out the GCF, 8x cubed plus 12x squared. If we look at the polynomial 8x cubed plus 12x squared, we're looking to factor out the GCF, or the greatest common factor. Let's start with the coefficients. If we look at 8 and 12, the greatest common factor is going to be the largest number that divides each of those evenly. So if you look at 8 and 12 are both divisible by 2, but they're also both divisible by 4, and 4 is the largest number that they're both divisible by. So the GCF of 8 and 12 is going to be 4. However, we also have to look at the variable factors. If we look at x cubed and x squared, well, they both have an x in common, but if you look, they both contain an x squared. X cubed is divisible by x squared, and x squared is also divisible by x squared. So we end up with x squared as well. So the GCF of 8x cubed plus 12x squared is going to be 4x squared. Now, once we factor that out, we have to have the leftovers inside the parentheses. So if we look at 8x cubed, if we take 8x cubed and we take out a 4x squared, well, 8 divided by 4 is 2, and x cubed divided by x squared is x. So the leftovers that we have are going to be 2x. Then we have a plus, because the two terms are being added, and we look at 12x squared. If we start with 12x squared and pull out a 4x squared, well, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and then x squared divided by x squared is just 1, so we're just left with 3 there. So when we factor out the greatest common factor, the expression we're left with is 4x squared times the quantity 2x plus 3. If we want to check to see if our answer is right, we can do so by using the distributive property. The distributive property, as multiplication, is basically the opposite of pulling out the greatest common factor. So let's check by distributing. If we start 4x squared times 2x, that gives us 8x cubed, because x squared times x is x cubed. And then plus 4x squared times 3 gives us 12x squared. And if you look at what we have here, this ends up matching the original expression that we had. We started with 8x cubed plus 12x squared. So because that's what we get when we factor it out, we know that we've done a good job. I want to use this as an opportunity to point out what's actually happened here. We're actually undoing the distributive property. With the distributive property, we've got this 4x squared, and we're multiplying it into each of the terms to get our final answer. With factoring, we're looking to see what both of those terms contain so that we can pull it out. In this problem, 8x cubed and 12x squared are both divisible by 4x squared. So that's the quantity that we can pull out front, and 2x plus 3 are the leftovers that need to get multiplied by that to get our original expression. So that's what we get.